I would continue through with the healthcare lawsuit. I'm very proud that Florida is leading this litigation. 19 other states have joined in the lawsuit. Alaska was the last to join in. It's being heard in the Northern District of Florida, and in fact, a few weeks ago, I attended the oral arguments and heard the Attorney General's position as well as the position of the Department of Justice and the White House. I firmly believe that the statute is that the healthcare mandate is unconstitutional and that it violates our 10th Amendment rights as a state. I believe that the federal government cannot come in under the Commerce Clause and force us to purchase a product simply by being alive and then fining or penalizing us if we do not purchase that product. So I will continue through with the lawsuit. The status of the suit now is it's in the Northern District of Florida. Motions to dismiss have been heard. I anticipate that the lawsuit will not be dismissed and that it will continue through to the Supreme Court, and I would be proud to continue through with that lawsuit. The BP oil leak is something that we're all very, very grateful that it's thankful that it's been capped. However, it's not over. And right now we have about 32 miles of dissipated oil sitting on the floor of the Gulf of Mexico. That's about the size of Manhattan. And I can tell you, as Attorney General, I would do everything in my power to make sure that all of our citizens are adequately compensated under this tragedy that happened, and that BP is held accountable. We know there's a $20 billion fund, and Florida needs to receive as much of that fund as necessary to help our businesses, to help our fishermen, to help our tourism industry, and to help all of our businesses and citizens who have been greatly affected by this oil spill. I think BP needs to make these claims fully. I think they need to make them in as fast of a manner as possible, and I will do everything as Attorney General, everything in my power to be sure the citizens of our state are taken care of and protected. Florida's Attorney General's involvement in that lawsuit was that they acted as the attorney for the Department of Children and Families. The Attorney General's office represented the Department of Children and Families. That was their client. A judge ruled that the ban on gay adoption was unconstitutional. Department of Children and Families asked that that ruling be appealed, and that ruling was appealed. The District Court of Appeal has now upheld the ruling of the Circuit Court. The next decision will be made by the Department of Children and Families in consultation with the Attorney General's office. That decision must be made in consultation with the Department of Children and Families and what they wish to do regarding the lawsuit, but it does need finality, and we need a decision on whether or not gay adoption is legal within our state, and that will be done through the court system. I have been a prosecutor. I'm a fourth-generation Floridian, and I've been a prosecutor for nearly 2 decades, almost 20 years in Florida. And I can tell you my top priority as Attorney General will be to protect the lives and safety of our citizens. Now more than ever, we have so many crimes affecting our state. Pill mills are on the rise. We are known as the pill mill capital of the country. Gangs are out of control. Identity theft, mortgage fraud, Medicaid fraud, and I will do everything in my power to protect our citizens and to uphold the laws of our state. I have for nearly 20 years tried many cases you'll hear the Attorney General talk about: theft cases, identity theft cases, gang-related cases, homicide cases, and capital cases. And I will use my experience as a 2-decade prosecutor to do everything in my power to protect the citizens of our state. I have never run for office, and I do not see this as a political stepping stone. I see this as your chief legal officer.